Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu Rich and Mike Wood here to take you through the Rosehill quaddie this weekend. But before that, how good was Monday, Mike? That was something pretty special to see, Winks, and the Theatre of the Horse was absolute capacity. It looked like the carnival.
Yeah, the excitement, the pressure of this winning run, just almost unbearable, isn't it? Most of the trainers swanning around the mounting yard looking pretty relaxed. Poor old Chris Waller, like it was Melbourne Cup Day. What a job he's got.
I know. Well, look, she's hit the 14 straight now, but the attention turns now to the owners of the 2-year-olds this weekend, and that's where the focus is this weekend. They're going to be getting pretty excited.
Yeah, big group of owners. She Will Reign, absolutely cracking sprinter. Veronella, though, a cracking colt as well. What a showdown that is.
Yeah, one of yours has been speaking through your pocket there, I'm sure. We're not going to have a look at him in the quaddie, but he's running earlier in the day. Let's jump into the first leg of the quaddie. It's the Hobartville Stakes, and here we get to see the return of the VRC Derby winner, Prized Icon. And, well, look, he's clearly the class runner for James Cummings, but he's up against Dad's horse, Man from Uncle. What a betting plunge that was last start. And Waller's trying to crash the party as well with Coming Through and Veladero. So, great race.
Yeah, father versus son. James Cumming, the pride and joy for him is his daughter Adeline, but maybe this Group 1 winning colt's not too far behind. Group 2, 1,400 metres, fair to steady tempo. The conditions way up in the air on Saturday. There's a storm system due to come through on Saturday. So, good 3 to soft 7. We're not 100% sure. The bias we're forecasting is fair, but that'll be linked to the conditions as well. So, keep a close eye on that. Across the 3 key factors based on those conditions that we're not quite sure about. Weight's definitely a key factor. It's a set weights event. All these colts and geldings are on the same weight, which is very interesting. Position and run, there's some tricky barriers for some of the favourites. And scope. Part of the fun of this race is trying to find the 3-year-old you think's the next champ.
Yeah, well, look, we know one of them's been there and done it before, and that's Prized Icon. So, look, having a look at the market here, I mean, it was an interesting one yesterday when the market's open, because it was $3.60, but as of today, it's blown right out, and there's money coming here we've got Man from Uncle, we've got Coming Through as well, so a lot of support for a few other runners. Yeah,
that's the Prized Icon, a big blower in early markets, which is a big concern for him, but let's go across and look at a couple of replays to see how these horses line up and see which of these favourites will do well on the Saturday. First of all, looking at an obvious replay for us, a few different horses coming through the same race into this race on Saturday. Man from Uncle's the one in the pink sleeves getting wound up now. Coming Through is the one in the yellow, coming widest, running on OK, but didn't get the winner, did he, Stu?
No, didn't get to the winner at all, but Man from Uncle, I'll tell you what, he didn't think he was going to do it at all, but it's a massive finish.
Yeah, huge finish from Man from Uncle. The last 200-metre section from him was faster than Coming Through, despite the fact that Coming Through had a better run throughout the race. So, big plunge from Anthony Cummings, big win.
Yeah, I know we had Guard of Honour there. That was our quaddie standout that day. Let's have a look at Prized Icon. We said he's been to the top. He is a VRC Derby winner, but we're not going to take you to the Derby. This is one of the races. It was the Group 3 up and coming last August, and this is really strong under the weight.
Well, in your form guide, you might not think this is the best run in the world. First up, fourth in an OK race, but we're going to make a case for it, aren't we? This is Prized Icon in the red and black in number 1, just coming up now in the dark colours. That's Divine Prophet storming straight past him, and he had a massive weight this day, Prized Icon, 61 kilograms, so a really honourable run.
Yeah, some really good form around it there. That's just a tough, good, tough horse. We know James Cumming absolutely loves it as well. So, look, it'll be really interesting to see how he returns this week. Let's have a look at the key factors. We're looking for the gold. Take us across the page.
Yeah, so look at those key factor ratings. James Cummings has moved out of the shadow of his grandfather. He's a smart trainer. He's picked the right race for Prized Icon. The classy horse, so well weighted across to position and run. He's got a bit of a tricky barrier though. Veladero and Echo Effect get the on-pace favours. And across to scope, you'll have your own opinions at home about which is the next 3-year-old star. There's the 3 that we think can take the rise on Saturday. Yeah,
Scope's a really interesting one here, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the overall ratings, and the really important thing here is we're adding in the form. So, Prized Icon, we know he's going to be there. There he is. He's on top, but 1, 2, 3, really only about 3 or 4 really solid chances in behind him.
Yeah, pretty skinny race. It's only a small field, isn't it? So not too many threats to Prized Icon. And if he's fit and well, the trial was good leading into this. He has been a drifter early, but Coming Through is a popular horse, so we kind of expected that money early. He's a clear top rater. He's a classy horse. So if we go across to the best bets, we're doing our best bets a little bit differently this week. Because of the variable conditions, we're going to do a dry track bet and a wet track bet. But for the first race, it doesn't matter. Prized Icon in either conditions for us.
Well, look, we're not weather forecasters, that's for sure, but let's try and get some winners for the quaddie. There's a look at the start of it. The second leg, well, it's the Millie Fox Stakes. Absolutely love this race. Some great horses over the years have won. Red Tracer, Catkins, First Seal, so some real quality at the top there. And another random stat, a lot of these were also wearing saddlecloth number 1. So, look, Single Gaze gets that opportunity this year. Nicolo's been really patient. It's just great to see her back and Kathy O'Hara as well.
Yeah, it's a random stat, isn't it? 3 ones in a row won this race. Can Single Gaze do it again? I mean, Nicolo's done the right thing by this mare, hasn't he? He's taken his time after the fall, and her trials have been enormous, so she's going to be cracking on Saturday. Let's look at the race conditions to see the way this second leg of the quaddie sets up. It's a Group 2 over 1,300 metres. Fair tempo, we think. There's a little bit of tempo from out wide in this race. The super fit In Her Time looks the likely leader. There's the conditions, a big question mark there, no idea. And the bias we hope will be fair on Saturday. So across the 3 key factors based on those conditions, just like the first race, some quite similar key factors here. Weight has to be a key factor. Set weights and penalties suits the classier types. Position and run, there'll be such close margins in this race. Getting the gun run will matter. And the flat and fast Rosehill track will make a big difference on Saturday too.
Yeah, but look, having a look at the market here. I mean, you've got these mares races. They're always tough to figure out, and it's no different this week. We've got Euro Angel, Artistry, Den Magic, all been well supported. They're Heavens Above, In Her Time, shooting for 4 wins in a row, and Private Secretary, Daisy Doom there as well. So this is pretty wide open.
It's a massively wide open mares races, as they always are. So let's have a look at a couple of replays to see how these horses line up. Starting with an obvious replay once again, like the first race. There's a few horses coming through this race, aren't there, on Saturday? So In Her Time's the one with the black sleeves, the yellow and white, taking over now. Iams a Lady doing what she does sometimes. She does tend to knock up sometimes. She's in the red, a few horses out wide. And Circular, way out the back in the Godolphin Blue, winding up late.
Yeah, but look, it's In Her Time and really got going early, and I think that's where she absolutely pinched the race. But really good, tough horse, another one.
Yeah, Andrew Atkins knows this horse so well. He rode her to her strengths.
Yep.
Really strong tempo, out-toughed them, good win.
Got to love a good ride, that's the main thing. Let's have a look at another replay here. We're going back to show you Heavens Above. Now, this is another horse that just keeps trying. May not win all that often, but here in the yellow and green, another one that just really loves to hit the line.
Such a similar replay to Prized Icon, isn't it? Same day, same grade, same distance, same case we're making. Doesn't look that good on your form guides. She runs 4th, but once again, she's got a huge weight, 59 kilograms, and she's behind some cracking mares, isn't she, Stu?
Yeah, look, we've got Dixie Blossoms there. Unfortunately, the ill-fated Pearls in front too, but absolutely proper horse here, and that's what I can say.
Yeah, not far off with 59 kegs. They had 54. That's a big rating for her.
Well, let's jump across to the key factors here. We've seen a few there, but look, let's just hoping for gold across the page here. It's a wide open race.
It's a wide open race. We're looking for gold, and there's not gold across the page anywhere, is there? Weight straight away. You see Daisy Doom's up in grade. She's such a good mare, but she's up in grade. Private Secretary and Heavens Above, well weighted in this race. Position and run. Look, Euro Angel gets a gun run, but she's still out of her grade for a favourite, and her one run at Rosehill was only okay. Across to track, Artistry, we know, loves the track. She's 3 from 4. The tough In Her Time, it's probably a negative for her going from Randwick to Rosehill.
Well, look, I think the market didn't give us anything before. Having a look at the cross here at the overall ratings, it's Artistry on top. There's one that was in the market, around about $7 there, but that's an absolutely stacked field, and where are we looking here?
Well, if you've got a mate down the pub who tells you you've got a special in this race, he's simply lying. This is a stacked field. There's nothing between them. It's completely impossible, but you go for value, you go for the ones narrowly on top, and it's good to see some really good, strong mares coming to the top of those ratings, so mares that we can trust. Let's go to the best bets. And we said we're going to do a dry track and a wet track bet.
Let's stick with it.
Let's stick with it, and it's pretty easy for this one. Artistry, she's an absolute dry tracker. She's the top rater. She'll be really hard to beat on a dry Rosehill if it suits her. If the heavens open, it's Heavens Above for us. Storming down the outside, she loves the sting out.
I love a good weather pun with the rain forecast.
That was good.
Well, look, there's a couple of really good races, Group 2, Group 3 to start the day. We're going to be back over 1,900 metres with the listed Parramatta Cup. Straight after this, we'll see you then. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. It's all eyes on the weather. That's what we've established from the first 2 legs. Let's jump into the third leg. It's the listed Parramatta Cup over 1,900 metres, and 2 cracking types here. We've got Religify and Red Excitement. Just keep stepping up to the mark. They've been up all summer long. Chris Wallart, Gerald Ryan, they are really getting the best out of these horses. They know them well.
Absolutely. Winning by margins as well, these horses, aren't they? Surprising, isn't it? I mean, such good trainers and Religify a stayer. Who would have thought? Let's look at the race conditions and see how this race sets up and see if Religify can stay this 1,900 metres on Saturday. Listed level race after the Group 2 races, the first 2 legs. Look, a fair to strong tempo, especially if those dry trackers, Red Excitement and Religify, do line up on Saturday. If the storm comes, though, the types of horses that might get scratched. So watch those conditions, good 3 to soft 7 and a fair buy. So basically, we're not sure the way this race sets up. Check the website on Saturday morning across the 3 key factors based on those conditions. And weight has to be a key factor. There's a bit of a squeeze, we call it, down the bottom of the weight. Some of these lower class horses should be getting less weight, but the minimum weight bumps them up a bit. Distance, the 1900 metres, basically for Religify. I want to see how he goes. And track, the flat and fast Rosehill track suits some of these horses better than others.
Well, let's have a look at the market for this race. And, I mean, it's the winning form that the punters have already started concentrating on. There's winning form here from two horses, and that's Red Excitement and Religify. And, well, look, there they are on top, 350 and 420. Always some good money there, already some good money there for Religify. But Olympic Academy, Dark Eyes, classic uniform there, and Allergic's really well supported too. So, look, they've come for the ones in form. Yeah,
they're in form. They're winning by big margins. Let's have a look at to see how good they're going. Red Excitement first up over his longest ever distance, the Gosford Cup, which a few people had doubts on him, didn't they, whether he'd stay this distance. This is him in front, setting a decent clip from before the turn in the green and white. Look, he won by a decent margin. It was Gosford, but there weren't mugs behind him, Stu.
No, we've got Sense of Occasion and Destiny's Kiss, who both won listed races either side of this race. They're chasing, but it's all in vain here, off and gone.
Well, yeah, Destiny's Kiss did, didn't he, listed races, but Sense of Occasion won the Group 2 Villiers Stakes the race before, so he's eased up on the line. That's a great win for Red Excitement.
Red Excitement. Well, look, the other horse we mentioned, Religify, yeah, you mentioned, is he going to be a stayer? I don't think so. I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's take you back to at least a mile race and, well, we're going to make a judgment here.
Well, yeah, I mean, the tempo is really important to measure up in this race. This is Religify in the green and white in the lead, and he ends up winning by a massive margin against some horses we'll talk about in a second. But the tempo was a little bit steady early, and he did what he loves to do. He went for a long sprint from home from the 700 or 800 metre mark, and he won well.
Does love sustaining that run, and look, he's not so much going away from them here, but he's just holding it. Really good win.
Yeah, the last 200 metres was okay, but the fastest in the race, you'll see in the Godolphin Blue right there, running right through the line, was Allergic. A great finish.
Well, I think we've posed a really obvious question here. Distance, Religify. Let's have a look at the key factors.
We'll bring up these key factors and see what we think as a team will happen on Saturday. Weight, Red Excitement, Religify and Allergic are the ones that aren't subject to that squeeze down the bottom of the weights. The rest of those horses should be getting less weight. Allergic, the lowest of those three, so he gets the gold bar for weight. Look, Red Excitement almost gets 3 gold bars. Distance, track, you can't fault him. Look, we are putting a big question mark on Religify, but while it could surprise us, Allergic, impossible to knock. 3 gold bars for him.
3 gold bars for Allergic. So we've got a little pot on the two hot price favourites here. Let's have a look at the overall ratings, and, well, as we bring those up, you've mentioned Allergic. We've got a bit of support there. There's Red Excitement. Religify is in behind, but 5 lengths, Allergic was beaten last time by Religify. So here you're saying, you know, there's a bit of a turnaround on the cards potentially?
Yeah, on cold, hard form, he's got no chance, doesn't he? But up in distance, switching the weights. Religify's never been to 1900 metres before, so yeah, big risk for us, Religify. Let's go across to the best bets, and we've been talking about those two, but there's one on top above those two, isn't it? It's Red Excitement. He's another bone-dry tracker, just like Artistry, so the condition's such a big play for this horse. Red Excitement's our best bet if it's dry.
Yeah.
If it's wet, definitely Allergic. In any conditions, each way Allergic, he's great odds. He should firm on Saturday.
Well, there we go. Another dry, wet. That's what we're doing. It's just part of the show this week. There's too many variables. That's the third leg of the quaddie. Let's have a look at the last leg. It's the St John's Park bowling handicap. And I'll tell you what, if that storm does come, there's no better place to be than a bowler on a Saturday afternoon with a few bets. But one horse that caught my eye here in this race, Decision Time. It was about 7 years ago that this horse was running a place in the Golden Slipper.
What a remarkable career. I mean, he's a 9-year-old racing like a 3-year-old. He was placed in the Golden Slipper. He's been injured. He's come back. He's won a couple of times since.
Career.
Cracking horse. Let's see how he sets up for this race on Saturday. 1100 metres, back to benchmark grade for the last leg of the quaddie. A fair tempo forecast. It actually could be fair to strong maybe. There's a couple of good speedy leaders, including his GNC in this race. Conditions up in the air, good 3 to soft 7. Bias fair, we hope, across the 3 key factors. Look, keeping it pretty simple in this race, it's all really up to finding these sprinters or finding short course gallopers at the right stage of their preparation. So the first key factor for us is track. The second one is distance, pretty simple key factors, and stage of preparation. Which of these horses is ready to peak on Saturday?
Well, let's have a look at the market for the all-important last as we look at the quaddie. And, well, hieroglyphics. Already some really good money this week. I think it was as much as 420 and absolutely smashed into 360. Ziggy Willy, well, been up for an absolutely very long prep, that's for sure. A GNC, a Lucinari, Prince Famous, all there. But look, Mike, the guys have got to be trading in their tab tickets at the end of the day. Which ponies are we going to look at here?
Well, yeah, we want to get gold for our tab tickets, don't we, at the end of the day? Let's look at the couple of winners last start. First of all, the favourite, Hieroglyphics has to be the one we start looking at. She was first up here in the blue and white with the white bald face. Coming 3 wide now, quickening past them, and nothing wrong with this win at all, Stu, was there?
Absolutely pounced, and then love this bit. Just really streets clear the final stages. That's a really impressive win.
Yeah, it was Anthony Cummings doesn't usually miss one first up. This actually drifted in the market, so it's rare for that trainer. Usually he gets them first up, like Man from Uncle.
That is very true. Usually the betting stable. Now, look, we mentioned decision time. I didn't know you were going to put this one in here, but we're going to have a look. This is the Caulfield race, and the really important thing here, this was a great win, but this was off of really good freshen up.
Well, yeah, it's important for the older horse. This is Flemington actually up the straight. This is 1,100 metres. Decision times in the orange and the yellow. It's not as if he had an easy run this day. He comes to the middle of the track, off a good freshen up, like you said, Stu, and puts a good margin on. Run Sardi, who's got form lines through Sydney through a GNC, and that horse that came third there came second in a listed race next start, so there's depth in the form too.
This is only 2 starts ago. That's decision time.
It's unbelievable. 30 to 1, wish I was on.
Yeah, look, there's some big odds there. Let's look at a couple of the replays, but it's the all-important goal we're looking for. Let's have a look at the key factors here. Any love for those two?
Well, yes, straight away we're going to look at this favourite, Hieroglyphics. We think it's a big risk. Actually, that should be a lower mark for stage of preparation for Hieroglyphics. We think she's a risk second up after she's only ever won first up before. And Rosehill's also a risk for her. She's a smaller, nippy type that's suited to Canterbury. So while she loves 1,100 metres, there's a couple of risks for her. Track, a GNC's never been to Rosehill, but she's the perfect type, big and powerful, just like Heart Tester. A few other gold bars there as well, but maybe the questions are the most important things to focus on. Ziggy really back in distance, and Prince Famous, that should be a low mark for stage of preparation as well. He's a risk deep into his prep.
There's a couple of risks there, and I mean, one that's got a lot of question marks there, you're saying, is Hieroglyphics. So really interesting to see where she's going to pop up there in the overall ratings. And as we have a look across there, well, another really stacked field to end the day, that's for sure. But there's Heart Tester as well. There's Prince Famous down the bottom. There's only Hieroglyphics down on 9.5. So going against the tide here. Yeah,
we're going against a big early market move, which makes you nervous, doesn't it? But second up, Rosehill, we're not sure it's going to be ideal for her. So we're happy to risk her at those odds, definitely. We're going to pluck a couple out of this race. It's a pretty stacked field, and he can't go past decision time. He's the roughest horse in the race almost. He won 2 starts ago. He's freshened up. Dry track, he's the one from us. With the apprentice claim, storming home at the end. He's so genuine these days, even though he's 9. And we'll pluck another one out. If the rain comes, Shadow Lord will firm. He's great in the wet.
Well, plenty to look at from a weather perspective. You've seen us do some dries and some wet forms this weekend. Let's wrap up this quaddie. I think we're going to do a dry and a wet quaddie just in case.
Yeah, we have to, don't we? Yeah. I mean, we don't know what the conditions are going to be like, and this show's all about getting the conditions right, isn't it? So we'll have a look at 2 quaddies. The first one coming up now. Look, it's pretty simple here, isn't it? We're going for the top raters throughout the day. The one that we've snuck in is race 7, number 11, I Am's a Lady, who's a bit of an up-and-down mare that can show up on her day on a dry track. You'll see old decision time in race 9. He definitely goes in, and RNA Science is definitely winning track chance too. But that's definitely the right quaddie for a dry track.
All right, and let's have a look at the wet one as well.
Well, yeah, what we have to do with this is sub out the horses that are faster, more powerful types and look for the tough wet trackers. Some of those that come into the quaddie, Inference, a really tough type, loves a wet track. Daisy Doom, we know loves a wet track. Heavens Above, we've talked about, in her time, super tough. We're not even sure if Religify and Red Excitement will race on Saturday, so
true. Could be a lot of scratchings.
Put in classic uniform if the rain does come. Hieroglyphics and Shadow Lord get a shout too in the last. So depending on the conditions on Saturday, play one of those 2 quaddies.
Well, plenty of questions on the weather, plenty of questions on the scratchings, but we hope we've got you into at least a few legs of the quaddie there. Now, look, race profiles, they're never as important as is with the weather like this. So all the race guides will be online 9 a.m. tomorrow, theraceguide.com.au, and you've just got to look at those because it's going to be so important this weekend.
Yep, absolutely. Check them out Friday, 9 a.m.
Well, good luck with the quaddie this weekend. Hope we've steered you into a winner, and we'll be back again next week. We'll do it all again.